Welcome to About You. I'm Connie Hogan. As we reluctantly say goodbye to our all too short summer season and especially our all too short fall season around here, we turn our attention to the holiday season, and we're reminded of so many in our community who are the less fortunate. My guest today represents a unique nonprofit that serves to match people with their passions in the philanthropic community. And I was actually unfamiliar with this, even being in the philanthropic space locally. But Janette Phillips is the executive director of Share Detroit, is the name of it, Share Detroit. And she's here to tell us all about it. Welcome, Janette.
Hi, Connie. Thank you so much.
Okay, give us a little summary of Share Detroit. I know I don't know a lot about it because we just talked about it briefly, but start from first start with your background and then how you got into Share Detroit.
Okay, you want me to start with
my
my
background? Start with your background.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So first of all, I've lived in the township since about the year 2000. So,
okay.
Gosh, time flies.
Yes, it does.
But I started my career in sales. So I worked for, in the old days, it was called Michigan Bell Telephone, and then changed the name to Ameritech.
Really? Okay.
Yep. So I was an account executive, so I sold communications, phone systems, and I loved my job because it was commission. So the better you did, the more money you made. And of course, when you're young, that's what it's about,
that's the name
right?
of the game, right?
You gotta live. So I did that for a long time, was very successfll, and I know you used to work at General Motors, so towards the end of my career, I handled the General Motors account nationwide. So Van Nuys, the plant you mentioned.
So you knew Van Nuys, okay.
Yeah, I did. So anyway, so I did that for a long time, then I stepped back and had children.
Okay.
So while the Bloomfield Township School District is where they went to school, and I got obviously very involved with the PTOs and just different things, helping the classrooms and things. Okay. And we did fundraising for the new playground at Way Elementary. We started a little talent show at Way. Different things, right? So I began to figure out that my talents in helping make connections and helping people is the way I like to think about what sales really is. I used it in a different way. So when the girls got a little older, late elementary school, middle school, it was like, okay, time to get a job again, get back to work. I didn't want to go back into the corporate sales side, so I started in nonprofits. And I've worked at several nonprofits, for the past, 15 years. In what they call development, which is like sales like regular corporate people. It took me a while to recalibrate my brain on, there are some differences, but I would just say to anyone watching, if they've been in a sales role, customer service role, and they want to do something that's more fulfilling, they should look into nonprofit development.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Because anytime I see because I was also in business, and then, later or really mid-career in General Motors, I went into the thing. But when I look at the nonprofits, if I see the word development, then I know that's a big job, in the nonprofits. It's not like doing the events. Not to say anything about the events, because that's hard too. But development's a big job with.
Yeah. And the thing for people to keep in mind is that, and this is a little bit about why I'm here and segueing to Giving Tuesday, but the thing to keep in mind for nonprofits is they're not selling, most nonprofits don't sell a product, they're serving other people, helping them with, say, tutoring or food insecurity or mental health challenges. Animal rescue.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's number one on my list.
Okay,
so go
perfect.
ahead.
Yeah, everyone's a little different.
We have to talk about that. Yeah.
They're serving the community in their way. Excuse me, in their mission work, and you can't. It's not like selling a coffee cup.
Right.
You're trying to inspire people to support them through the mission. So it's a softer, different thing, right? But it's still making those connections explaining how your service, your mission work helps someone else, and hoping that people will give to continue that service/product. So it's really nice to give back and work in the mission work of a nonprofit, even if it's not like your calling. You know what I mean? Like you love animals. Okay, great. Would you want to open up a shelter? Maybe not. It's a lot. It's very complicated what these nonprofits do.
Right.
But you can help by fundraising, helping, host the events, do whatever, and volunteering in that way too is a good way to get your feet wet. So that's kind of, I straddled from the corporate world over to the nonprofit world a little bit later in my career.
So did Share Detroit exist before you, or did you create that? So
Share Detroit, I was the executive director of Share Detroit when we launched, when we went live on the internet. But it was, the way Share Detroit began was, there was a woman in Charlotte, North Carolina, named Kelly, who created Share Charlotte. So people can Google sharecharlotte.org before or after you Google sharedetroit.org.
I hear you,
but
the first rule of philanthropy, give me your money first.
Visit us first. So anyway, Kelly and Share Charlotte realized that there was no way for the public to figure out what they liked or what nonprofit to support.
That's a good point,
except for Googling. And today, I mean, most people do that. It's like, okay, my son needs community service hours. My daughter's Girl Scout troop wants to do a collection drive for something. Who do we give it back to? I'm retiring, or I want to give back. I want to increase my career, like young professionals. Great way for a young professional to move up in their company is to volunteer and be on a board.
Nowadays it's a requirement. And for schooling, work. I mean, when I was coming along in the horse and buggy days, but it was like they would really they would be impressed with it. But I think that's really evolved now to where it's just a huge part.
Exactly. And all the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion pieces, like to just demonstrate that you care about your community, you're helping the underserved, you're helping animals, whomever. But there are really great ways to join boards of directors for small, Forgotten Harvest, or COTS, those big ones, right? They're not going to take a 25-year-old young, eager, aggressive, ambitious person on their board. But these smaller food insecurity nonprofits, or a smaller nonprofit that helps pregnant women or tutors children, would love to have those types of people on their board.
So does Share Detroit focus more on the smaller ones then?
We have all sizes.
That's what I thought.
Yes. So we do have Forgotten Harvest on the website. We have COTS, Focus Hope, some of the Gleaners. We have some of the big ones that everyone knows, right? But the thing people don't realize is that we have as of today, I think it was 339 nonprofits on our site. There are like thousands of nonprofits. So if a person watching this says, oh, the nonprofit I love so much is not on Share Detroit, join. It's very easy. It's free. We don't charge a thing to the nonprofit. We don't charge at all to the nonprofit or to the person maybe making a donation through Share Detroit to the nonprofit. We don't take a cut at all. We're funded separately. We can talk about that later. But in the footer of every page on our website, at the bottom it says, are you a nonprofit? Log in or create an account. So create an account if it's the first time in, and then later they would just log in. But we are constantly seeking more and more nonprofits. Why? Because, again, as a, high school student needs to do community service hours, nothing against this. I love
Like it
Forgotten Harvest,
facilitates
but
it,
there are
yeah.
small nonprofits that nobody sees, and they need the help and really
I
value it
see,
even
I
more
see.
than just going to a place and bagging up groceries for a
Right,
3-hour
right,
shift.
right.
That's great. It's all great. I mean, don't
I know
get me
what you
wrong.
mean.
It's
I know
great,
what you
but
mean, yeah.
there might be a small food pantry in Redford that, you said, hey, I'll come down once a week and help you do whatever you need. They would be so grateful forever. So
Right.
Share Detroit is that location, conduit, hub, however you want to think of it, to allow neighbors, community members, neighbors to find a nonprofit that really speaks to your heart.
I just
Again-
thought of something. I hadn't even thought of this before. You're a little bit like United Way.
Kind of, yes. The difference, yes. I love United Way. I want to connect
And there's
with
a
them.
but after that. though.
Well, I would love
There
for the
always
United,
is with
yeah,
United
no. Well, I would love for the United Way and the Community Foundation of Southeast Michigan. I'm getting there. We've been around for 3 years now, so 3 years is kind of a hurdle. You have to-
Milestone, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, milestone that you have to get over before you can really start talking to funders about supporting our work, which is to support everyone else's work. So I would love for the United Way to recognize what
Collaborate,
we're doing.
yeah.
And support it and or take it under their umbrella. It's a little bit of an ambitious idea, but you never know. And we have 7 share cities in the country. One of them,
okay.
yep, one of them is called Share Cape Fear, which is also, I think, in North Carolina.
It is, yeah. Mhm.
But if you go to sharecapefear.org, they're all the same, you will see in their banner, the header, it's under the umbrella of the United Way
No
of
kidding,
Cape Fear.
no kidding.
Yes. And there are other cities that are under the umbrella or banner of their their local community foundation. So it fits well underneath a United Way or a community foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it fits just fine out here independently. But there's not. Again, I don't want to say anything negative,
well, let
but
me say,
it's
so let
very
me fill in
easy
that,
to
right,
volunteer
right.
on Share Detroit. It's
Right.
not quite as easy on the United
That's a good way to
site.
put it.
know.
Long story short, I am not, let me just, disclaimer here. I haven't been involved with United Way in a while. But years ago, one of my initial, functions when I was in General Motors Foundation, at that moment in time, if you can believe this, it was like gray hair, I was handling all the United Way for General Motors.
yeah, that's
and
big.
the
It's big,
total, I'm going to
Yeah,
say, and I'm
millions
just
and
throwing this
millions.
out, but for I think US wide, it was something like 45 million.
Yeah, I
From
believe it.
employees.
Right.
From
right.
employees, then GM did another thing, and it was, and this is no exaggeration, this was before the internet giving had happened. So
Yeah.
we were trying to implement it,
Right.
and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. But I kept asking myself through all of it, and it would get me in trouble with the big boys, but what value is this doing, especially when we got with the internet to where you can go right to the
nonprofit,
organization.
exactly.
And no offense to you or United
Right.
Way, but it's like I can go
know.
to the Humane Society or Marl or whatever,
Yeah, so one,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned that
Yeah.
because it is true. And when
Yeah.
you donate to the United Way,
They take a
percentage,
cut.
yes, a percentage goes. When you donate at Share Detroit, if you go, anybody listening wants to Google on their phone, sharedetroit.org,
Yeah.
and you go to any of the nonprofits to the donate buttons, those donate buttons are PayPal links directly to their money. We're just the conduit again. So when you say donate to Friends for Animals of Metro Detroit, you love animals, or Mittens for Detroit, or sorry, Kitten, there's Mittens for Kittens or something like that.
Oh, I
There's a
like the
kittens
sound
one
of
in
it, but I don't know it,
Waterford.
but I'll look that up.
Yeah, in Highland or Waterford. But you click that donate link, your money, there is a cut. PayPal, there's the upcharge
Okay.
on PayPal. So I don't want to,
Right.
you say, oh, I'll donate $25, and you'll end up paying $26.20, whatever
Right,
it is.
and they give you that
$1.20
option,
goes
yeah.
to PayPal.
Got it,
The
yeah.
$25 goes to the nonprofit, the 100%, and we don't touch it. They create their own PayPal links. So we're, again,
Oh,
just this
okay.
page. We're like
Conduit.
we're a conduit, right. And so your money, if you select that kittens nonprofit, will go straight to them. You know, we see it. We can see that, you know, we're tracking our traffic, if you will. Excuse me. But it's direct. There's no cut.
But
there's
how
no
does, let
nothing.
me ask the basic way, how do you guys make any money though?
We
What is,
don't. So,
but you have to be paid, I mean, you know.
yes. So right now I have 2 angel investors. So back
More
to
like
the story about
sponsors.
Charlotte, North
Okay,
Carolina.
okay.
Let me just, if that's okay?
Sure,
I'll
absolutely,
backward.
yeah, for sure. yeah.
So Charlotte, ShareCharlotte.org, began by this woman named Kelly, created a really successful model,
Okay.
which we're under. And Paul Velasic, who the Velasic Pickle
Oh, yeah,
family
right, yeah.
people, but Paul Velasic is very
I saw that.
generous, very philanthropic. They're very involved with Henry Ford Hospital, Cranbrook Schools, different,
yeah.
you know, projects that they love. But Paul, one of the sons, really was intrigued by Share Charlotte, what this was.
Oh, okay.
And there were some men out of Omaha, Nebraska, who, and I don't know how they found Kelly in Charlotte, but these men in Omaha, Nebraska, Paul Vlasic and his good friend Sam Rosenberg, somehow started
There's
working
always
with Charlotte.
questions like that in
It's
a
all
non-
about the network
It
sometimes.
is, totally,
but-
100%.
So
yeah.
they worked with Kelly and create, I don't know, the word is hardened, but they made the website tougher, you know, stronger, so that multiple
More
cities.
robust.
Yes, thank you. Multiple cities could use the same platform locally to do their thing.
Okay.
So Paul Velasic, Sam Rosenberg brought the idea to Detroit, spent the money to make the site more robust, harden, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, tighten it up.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a woman on our team named Carly Moore who worked with them to just start talking to the nonprofits. Hey, we're going to do this. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And at that time, I was the development director for a nonprofit I love, Mercy Education Project
Okay.
in Corktown. And they help tutor girls, Hispanic girls primarily, but also African American, some Muslim girls. It's a very diverse
Oh, it's
community
very
down
diverse
there.
community,
I love it.
yeah. Mhm.
But and they help women get their GEDs. So I was development director there, finding funding to keep that all going because it's all 100% free to the women
Okay.
and girls. And so I would talk to Carly, and I'm like, Carly, great idea. I love this idea. When you're ready, we're Mercy Ed. We're coming. We'll be on the site, no problem. Then COVID hit, and I ended up leaving Mercy Ed, and in the fall of 2020, and they're trying. Share Detroit's trying to figure out what they're doing. You know what I mean? Everything kind of got weird for all of us, right? For everybody. And she called down to Mercy Ed or emailed or something looking for me to talk about it again. They wanted to relaunch or launch. And I'm very grateful, but they told Carly, oh, Janette's left. Here's her personal email. So Carly found me, and she's like, you're not doing anything yet? Because I was trying to decide, in transition, as they say.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
okay, what's next? What am I going to do next? And so they hired me
Oh,
as their
okay.
first official executive director.
That's so funny. And that fun,
Yeah.
the serendipity, really.
I
is how
know, it really worked well. So,
and you're so good at the representing it. So.
well, I try, but, and like creating kind of a small business. Really, we've launched a little small business. It happens to be a nonprofit. And
Right.
again, our product is the website. That's our service. But, so we launched in February. I started in December. You know, so we hustled up
Of
with
21.
like 25, 20. We wanted 25 nonprofits by Valentine's Day to launch. We got to like 20, 21, and so now we're at 339. So
Wow, that's a lot.
we're getting
though.
there.
That
yeah,
is a lot.
exactly. And so I'm really proud of that. But Charlotte initiated the idea.
I'll look that up. I haven't looked that up
Yeah,
before.
and Omaha, Nebraska, those other men with Paul, they started early. Like
It wasn't
they're
the
probably a
Cokes,
couple
was
of
it?
years.
I'm-
No,
I was
no,
kidding.
no, it's,
Omaha, those men from Omaha.
Walter Scott Foundation it's
Okay,
called. But
got it,
they
yeah.
so the Scott Foundation is, you would love to see Share Chicago, Share LA, Share
But
Dallas,
they don't have
Share
it yet.
Houston,
There's no
not
Share,
yet.
okay.
But because what you need is,
The Paul Athletics.
Yeah,
right,
you
so
need funders who
That's always
who
the
get
case,
it, right?
yeah.
And whether that's like again in Cape Fear, it was the United Way. In
Oh, okay.
Iowa, the whole state of Iowa, Share Greater Iowa, something like
Okay.
that. It's the community foundation of
Of Iowa.
Iowa.
Okay. It's interesting. Yeah.
So any model works if I don't know, somebody could be
So
listening
it's
here that
flexible and it's
yes,
yeah.
and the site is the same. So if you go to Charlotte or Detroit or Omaha, it's the same look and feel. But we all have, obviously, we have local employees, local people working it, and obviously local nonprofits. We do have some national nonprofits, but they have to have a chapter, like I don't know, the American Heart Association, Red Cross. They have to have local
It
presence.
reminds me a little bit the model you're talking, and you may know this. There's this program for like up and coming, it used to be up and coming people in business, philanthropy, government, called Leadership Detroit.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. Mhm.
But they have a similar thing. Like you could say Leadership Atlanta, or you could say Leadership Iowa.
Nice,
so
right.
it could be, it wouldn't necessarily be a city or whatever, but there's
the
a
same
lot
model.
of those. But
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
there's Leadership Oakland County.
right.
And I think those are actually I was in Leadership Detroit. And it was a really good program. And they
Yeah.
still have, they have a leader. I think like everything, it would kind of gone the way, I guess, a little bit of United Way or whatever. Maybe it's more, I don't know about it. I don't hear as much
They
about
do
it.
have it, and I met someone who
You would be great to join that though.
Well, maybe.
It's just 1 year.
But what I think, I met someone who just went through kind of these cohorts of whatever, groups of people, right?
Yeah.
Again, you just gave me a good idea, but organizations like that, Leadership Oakland, Leadership Detroit,
Okay, you're from
even like the Rotary clubs, like
Okay.
I want to work with them because why? Though, especially Leadership Detroit or Oakland, they have young,
Well, that's what I was
people
thinking.
who want to be on
Your
boards and want to give back.
constituents are the same.
Right. I can help them connect to the nonprofits.
Perfect, that's what I was thinking,
A little
yeah.
more intentionally, right? So our staff cut through the noise. So anyone feel free, just go to the website. We have a volunteer kind of radio button. Click volunteer. We have filters to allow people to see, okay, I care only about animals. I want to be on the board of an animal rescue. Great. You can filter through
do
to see
that
if there are
filter,
things like
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's very easy to kind of digest. But also, I have people on my team, including myself, but we know the nonprofits very well, right? Because we work with them every day. So someone might reach out and say, okay, I really want to give back. I want to be on the board of an animal nonprofit. Help me connect to the leadership. And so we will do that as we can. But it's not designed that you have to have a person be a conduit. Use the website. When someone says, yes, I'm interested in volunteering, again, that little form you fill out goes directly to the nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
We're watching in the background to make sure the nonprofit sees it doesn't fall into a spam folder, or somebody leaves the role and the email address wasn't updated. So we're watching to make sure the connection is made. But you're going right to the nonprofit. You're not coming to Share Detroit. You are, but we're the pass-through conduit, helping hand, however you want to think of it. I love what we're doing, and so just getting more traffic on the website and getting more people to, we have 4 pillars. I didn't mention this, if I could.
Sure.
Donate money. Okay, everybody, everyone needs money, so please donate money, especially during the holidays and Giving Tuesday
Yes,
time,
as we were
right?
saying,
Donate money,
yes.
but also volunteering, attend events, or shop for good, which is wish lists. So there are 4 ways to give back on the site. Volunteering seems to be our most
Popular.
popular. Because why? People want to
They want to find
check
the
it
thing.
out, right?
That's what I would say.
They
want
wanna
to find
volunteer first.
Because people like you and I, we've been in the space, but some people don't know this. You could be a doctor or whatever. You wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Where do I go? Kind
exactly.
of thing.
And you want to make sure it's a good nonprofit, right?
Yeah, for
so
sure,
by
yeah.
volunteering, you test, you look and feel it. You can see, okay, wow, these people really do care. They are doing good things in the neighborhood. They are helping get food to people who need it, rescue little kittens or dogs in Detroit, whatever, then usually money will follow or whatever. Just the volunteering time is so valuable to the nonprofits.
So valuable.
You know, and I think like the government has a rate. I think it's like almost $30 now. So every hour of volunteers with a nonprofit, that's like an in-kind service.
Is that how they value it? I didn't know
it's
that.
like revenue. You know, it's whatever, however you say it, but they have to.
Well, they have to put a
record
value.
it in their 990, which is like their tax return. But if they get 100 hours from someone who, you know, comes 2 hours a week every week for a year, that's a huge savings. They didn't have to pay someone to do that work, or, you know, just the work doesn't get done, right? So. Anyway.
Okay, so now talk a little bit about Grow Giving Tuesday. Now, is that a term that y'all came up with, or is that a national term?
So Giving Tuesday.
But I know Giving Tuesday, but Grow Giving Tuesday.
So our Grow Giving Tuesday is just sort of like, okay, in Metro Detroit in 2022, including Washtenaw County, so Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Washtenaw, on that one day, about $13 million was given directly to nonprofits on one day, 24 hours. It's miraculous.
How much was it, 13 million?
13 million. So that's pretty great.
That's amazing. Just Washtenaw County.
No, all 4 counties.
All 4 counties.
4 counties. So Oakland, I think, is the highest.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but the combination. So Grow Giving Tuesday is, you know, ideally we could have $1 higher than what we had last year. And the GivingTuesday.org organization is worldwide now, but think of it as nationwide, but they, on November 28th, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving every year, for anybody who doesn't know about Giving Tuesday, somehow they work with the credit card companies and the PayPals of the world and Stripe and whomever and whatever. They calculate that data. So Share Detroit is the official Giving Tuesday champion, I suppose, for Metro Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I get the data.
I've probably heard about it, and I just didn't,
know,
because it's pretty generic.
Well, and before Share Detroit came on the scene, kind of thing, and is, you know, now more formally connected to Giving Tuesday, Detroit didn't really have a rep like this. So, so that's our role. And so what we're trying to do, we have a hashtag, Giving Tuesday Detroit is our hashtag. So what we're asking the nonprofits to do, whenever they're promoting themselves for Giving Tuesday, to just use that hashtag Giving Tuesday Detroit, and reference Share Detroit if they can. We love it. But again, the Giving Tuesday people, the official people, are going to be tracking that hashtag to watch traffic and do all the things. So what we're trying to do is get all the nonprofits that we work with to like row together, you know, tell your own story.
Oh yeah, get it out there.
But now, make sure people do it, and we're finding easy ways. We have tools and logos that they can use if they're, you know, again, some of these nonprofits are like one woman or 3 women.
On Zoom.
They're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Here's what you do. Come with us, we'll help you.
Well, this is a great segue because we're kind of running out of time. So that's what you just said in the last 2 minutes. It's kind of like what you would like to leave the viewers with. It's like what you do for the Giving Tuesday and to support all of your constituents.
And so,
in a nutshell.
So in November and December.
And the Tuesday after November.
November 28th is like the kind of the kickoff to the holiday giving season. Just visit Share Detroit, look around. You can start doing that today, right?
For sure,
look around,
because it's coming
see
right
what
up.
You care about. Again, Giving Tuesday is about, you know, primarily giving money. But you know, if you don't want to or can't, sign up to volunteer somewhere on Giving Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to give in this way, or buy from a wish list. And again,
do they have that? Okay.
Yeah, and the wish list, when you order, let's say a lot of them are Amazon wish lists, right? So you click through us
but the wish
to
lists
the Amazon
are on,
wish list.
The wish list are on the side of the nonprofits, though, not on your side.
But it's on Amazon, but it's tied to Friends for Animals.
Oh, I got you.
And then the stuff that you order ships directly to the nonprofit. You pay for it. and they get it.
Is it all Amazon?
Very
I'm
easy.
just
No,
curious.
it can be any,
Okay.
each nonprofit. So there are a lot of,
Macy's or whatever.
yeah, there are some nonprofits that like help build ramps for seniors or help with home improvement work. There's one called Interfaith Volunteer Givers.
Oh, yeah.
Interfaith- It's a great one. But they probably have a wish list from Lowe's or Home
Oh,
Depot,
I
right? They
gotcha.
need
So it's more
equipment.
tailored.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're quickly running out of time, but you know, you and I could be here forever. I mean, we could just keep on
Happily.
talking, you know, for a
I'll come
week,
back.
right?
Yeah.
For sure. And we can talk about that later. But it is a very good, and I do want to highlight here in the next few months some of your
Right, thank
people, and
you.
we talked about that.
Yes.
But in the meantime, thank you so much for coming, Janette, and best of luck. I know you're on top of all of it.
We're trying.
And
But
thanks again, and thanks to the audience for watching.